last case study of the course is about smart home, and specifically about a company which is named Willow. Willow is a company born in 1872 and originally was started with the production of brass goods. This company evolved during the years till the moment it started the production of high-tech pumps for water management, heating, for buildings, or industrial, or for industry. So what happened is that Willow has reconsidered recently its strategy. Reconsidering the strategy means defining the current position and identify the future position. It means giving the unifying theme coherence to the actions of individuals, so to the action of the entire organization. As I said before, the company Willow is active in the mechanical engineering industry. So in this environment, considering this environment, the company has decided to change its strategy. Now, where does this need to change the strategy come from? And there are factors which are both external and internal, which have determined this change. Basically, the company, as I said, is active in the production of high-tech pumps, which means it's active in the energy field. And currently we are in the energy transition era, which is determined by phenomena like globalization, urbanization, etc. These developments press the company to change its position. And specifically, what does it mean? Where do these developments come from? They come from the scarcity of resources like water and energy, the increase of the population, the movement of population towards cities. Now, this of course requires that also the technology can give answers to problems like climate change, urbanization, etc. So the company is actively and directly involved. At the same time, there are also internal factors which press the company to change its strategy. This is because one of the main problems due to the climate change is to provide systems which are efficient from the energetic point of view. So this means that the systems, tools like the high-tech pumps, should be also efficient from this point of view. And this requires, of course, the integration of different competencies, so not only mechanics, but also electronics, material science, and so on. At the same point, in order for the company to let's say, to emerge and to compete in the industry environment, it is necessary also that the company is able to communicate what the company offers, and this is what they offer is called the pump intelligence. So a system, an integrated system comprising many different technologies which require many different skills. Now I give the word to Nancy.
To explain the overall goals of Willow by using IP, we will look into Porter's 5 forces. So the company has large competitors, very large competitors it has to compete with. So a repositioning is needed that will help to keep the per-game power of suppliers low. Also, the company claims pump intelligence. This is a USP that has to be communicated in order to make customers more willing to pay, build reputation, and keep the bargaining power of customers low. And also, around this reputation, they should build a sphere of exclusivity by blocking threats of new entrants and also threats of substitutes of products. Also, the portfolio of Willow has to be reviewed and adapted to new organizational direction and competitive situation, because as we see, Willow has large competitors that they file more patents, they generate higher sales, while Willow's technology is highly heterogeneous and complex. So we should shift from protection center to differentiation center to look for more effective protection and higher sphere of exclusivities around.
And as Nancy showed, in the company, due to the nature of the product and the market with competitors and so on, is necessary differentiation, and in this context, the logical consequences work around the brand management. And the necessity now is to move the customer perception to this kind of pump intelligence. And why? Because studies have shown that the decision process implies a lot of emotional component, and therefore we need to show with the brand to awake the emotions of the customer. But of course we need to reinforce these emotions with some kinds of facts and figures to support the rational part of the decision. And therefore, in the brand analysis, we start very traditional, considering the resource perspective and the market perspective, and looking in the past, what is our inheritance. We have a brand competence, high competence in pumps, technical leadership, system expertise. And we see, or we can see here, how we are presenting now. That is the brand appearance now. User interface, the green button, something very typical of, for the brand. Company logo, of course, and the shapes of the devices. For the future, we need to give some kind of taste to the mark with a smart, innovative, reliable to point out the sustainability and innovation of the product, and to achieve the plan from the 4 P's. We need to express the brand benefits. The energy efficiency, easy to use, quality, joy to use, and additionally customized solutions and auto reaction. And to achieve that, we need to be very brand consistent in the communication.
So after this strategic repositioning of the brand Gallou, we would like to burn the association of the brand Gallou with the intelligent pump into the perception of the customer. And the question is how to do that. So the brain of a customer is shown here on the left side. So there's a more emotional part of the brain and a more rational part. And the more emotional one, that's where we create a brand promise by the name Gallou, which consists here, for example, of the design, the quality, the efficiency, the smartness of the system, the sustainability. So all these parameters which make my pump appear intelligent. And the question is now how to sustainably connect this brand promise with Gallou. So the idea is to prove this brand promise with each sold product. So in principle, by realizing the technology and realizing the design, we have to focus on proving these brand promises which we want to make unique. So let's say we have a unique communication side, UCP, but we also have an exclusiveness in the product itself, so the USP. And if these two meet, then we can argue that we have a sustainable brand image created.
And the question now is how the IP organization achieved that. The problem, or the former situation, was that the IP organization in the past has been reactive and R&D based. And of course, for effective presentation of the brand, that was not the correct strategy and therefore it is necessary to change the IP organization from an R&D based organization in a more customer focused organization. And to achieve that, the IP need, of course, work tighter with sales, product management, and marketing.
Now that we have discussed about this reorganization process that just had been mentioned now, it appears that there will be the change in the process will lead to some specific situation that could be approached according to the institutional theory, notably the agency theory. So let's just take just a second about this agency theory. Regarding individuals contracting together, the relationship could lead to some asymmetric information. The principal offers contract and the agent has to fulfill the contract. However, the efforts made by the agents are not controlled by the principal, so it leads to some asymmetric situation where there is a lot of information. The type of asymmetric information situation where we could reach are, let's give 3 examples. Some situation where there are hidden characteristics, no information of the agents and on the offered input from the agent, so it leads to some adverse selection. Some intentions are hidden. In other words, the principal can observe what the agent is doing, however, he doesn't understand the intentions, so there's a hold up on the information, and some hidden action which are efforts made by the agent can't be observed by the principal. This kind of situation leads to possible problems when talking about integrating the market needs and the market side into the IP process as a whole. It means roughly that we could reach some poor performance in the IP design and or enable to reduce the own workload, and the IP generation that is made could lead to some dead ends. The best solution in order to prevent this kind of situation is to embark the market side and to make the operational people participating into the IP design. When talking about these measures that have been just mentioned now, there will be a strong need of IP controlling, and some measures need to be taken in order to ensure the success of the IP impact along the innovation process. In the case of Gallou, it appears that they developed four main range of performance indicators, which are the quality, the energy efficiency, ease of use, and what they call the surprise element, which is a joy of use for the end customer. And the main idea here is to ensure that there is the best alignment possible between IP and the marketing with regards to these indicators. And the idea is also to monitor the continuous competitors' product in order to ensure that the performance that had been stated here are well protected from Gallou's side. So this needs a market analysis, and this kind of IP control enabled to derive some IP management goal from the brand positioning. All that we have been talking about is about changing from a protection center to differentiation center, and this move within the company has to be driven in order to fulfill with all requirements that we've been talking about. In this in this goal, there are four basic requirements in order to ensure the success of this change. And these requirements will be supported by the top management, who will be acting as a promoter in order to drive these changes. We have been identified here four men driving requirements: the IP culture and the definition of the IP objectives, defining the IP as a competitive tool, the configuration of the IP portfolio, and the creation, the value creation that have made on the basis of the IP. And this diagram shows you that through these four steps, you may face some changes into the ability to cope with all this. Here is how the presentation will end. Thank you very much.